Time is 6:30 and a quorum being present, I call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for January 22nd, 2025, February 5th, 2025, and February 19th, 2025. Is there any discussion on those minutes? Not hearing any discussion. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, now on to agenda item A, public hearing, request for determination of applicability for Joe McConaughey, 40 Long Meadow Drive, Assessors Map 26, Lot 124. Is there anybody here for that? Could you please introduce yourself for the record, and then the floor is yours. Can I just make sure that your microphone is on? I don't think it is.
Is
Can
it
you-
green?
Yeah.
Should be green,
All
right?
right,
Yep.
Green, cool. Joseph McConaughey.
All right, and what do you plan on doing?
Build a chain link, mostly black chain link fence around the backyard area to encase the backyard. And then a little on each side of the house where it connects to the house, just a little, I don't know, plastic, whatever that white fake plastic looking,
All right,
that just goes across but all around the backyard would be black chain link.
so on the sides, it's going to be the taller white fence, and then
And then everything else.
everything else is
Yeah.
chain link? All right.
Just the backyard.
I think so I see the as-built from when this property was first developed, only like a year or two ago, not
Yes.
even that.
Year
And
and a half,
there's
I think.
the proposed plans, it's just not, it's hard to tell where you're planning on actually building the fence. Do you have any documentation about it doesn't even have to be exact, but where the fence is going to be going?
I do not know.
You don't?
I couldn't get an updated property map because that's the newest one.
All
Is the
right.
one that doesn't even have the house in it.
Um, So it's, Abigail, the plot plan that we have in our files, it says existing dwelling. That's the newest building there. That's not from the previous. All right.
Correct.
All right, so I just want to, so from the existing dwelling, the house, how many feet is it gonna extend in each way?
So probably going back, it's going to go on our property line 10 to 15 back. 'Cause that's how far it goes. And then across, it's kind of not straight because it's a weird property line
Yeah.
where the grass is. So wrapped around, it'll probably be, I'm trying to estimate, 70 probably, 40. I don't know the exact, I haven't got it properly.
Yeah.
This is just preemptively so I can get it done in the spring.
All right, I guess because we don't have the actual, where you plan on putting the fence, and there's a lot of wetlands around it, I'd like to, it's only a fence, but can we do a site walk before you actually start construction, just to, Abigail, you can go out and just make sure that they're not going directly into the wetlands or anything, and, we can,
Mr. Chairman, I think a hand sketch with some flags would be prudent here.
all right,
I mean, we don't need it surveyed per se, but I think
yeah.
some of those sprinkler flags with some rudimentary measurements, and let Abigail do a site visit. Would that
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is a newer building and house, and it's
approved.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, the wetlands are just marked out, so the flag should still be there. So I agree with you that Abigail should approve where the markouts is before the
Yeah, because
fence
this
is
was
built.
jammed in there. This was a lot of work to fit that back in there.
Yeah, and if I remember, yeah, there's the rain gardens, and then there was talk about a vernal pool, but I don't think that's,
And I remember he wanted to leave enough room for a shed in the back. That was a comment, I think, of the builder.
all right. Do you plan on putting a shed or anything at this point?
Eventually, once inside the fence line, though.
All right.
The fence will go around where the grass is, so it's kind of where the property is built.
Yep.
They didn't,
Unfortunately, we don't have
Yeah, we-
a drawing indicating,
they didn't develop anything past where the grass is in, so that's where the fence line will be. 'Cause the rest is just trees, it's not
I
even,
mean, if you're putting it out to quote for a fencing company, they should be able to provide you easily with a hand-drawn fence. This is, I can't approve anything I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, it's one of those tricky situations where it's just a fence. We typically, like, I don't think would have this much discussion, but because we don't know where the fence is actually going to be going, it would be nice to see, some sort of drawing of where it's going to be, just so we know what's going to be
Again, it's
there.
really helpful, you take a tape measure and you pull off the back of your foundation a set point and indicate it, and that way it can be reviewed by Abigail. She's got a tape measure,
Yes.
and that would just, I would feel better. I don't know how the rest of the commission feels.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
So basically what I think I'm hearing is we could take a motion to continue this until you can provide a little bit clearer documentation for it.
so what would I have to do? Or is it another site visit?
I'll call you tomorrow
Okay.
and we can set up a site visit.
She's been over twice already, so.
Oh, all right. Because I see the 40 Long Meadow Drive proposed plans. I'm just thinking, or actually
It's
the,
also road, I don't know why you guys have it as drive.
Oh,
Same with the excise tax.
yeah.
It's rough.
we have the as-built, so like,
Yeah.
just hand drawing something there. I personally, the fence company could probably provide better, but I don't know how, viable that is. But yeah,
I think we could print this
yeah, that's what I mean.
and just a hand drawing
Yeah.
with some hard measurements.
Yeah. All right, so as long as you're okay with that, I'm going to take a motion to continue this to the next available meeting. Do I have a motion for
I'll
that?
make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you.
And thank you. The public hearing is still open for that, technically. All right, agenda item B, public hearing, notice of intent, Mark Ginsberg, 77 New York Road, 79 First Street, 0 Connecticut Road, Assessors Map 81, lots 172, 170, and 168, DP file number 305-1211. And when you get a chance, could you introduce yourselves for the record?
Mark Ginsberg.
Thank you.
Jim Hanley, Civil Design Consultants.
All right.
So we got a DEP file number, I'm not sure if you have it, Abigail, but it's 305-1211. We're here tonight for, basically, there's 3 lots in total.
Jim, I'm sorry. Can you turn your microphone on?
Oh, it's not.
Apologize.
Yep. It's 3 lots in total. There's a proposed building addition as well as some general landscape improvements. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through existing conditions, proposed conditions, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer those for you. So 77 New York Road is the lot that is associated with the house that we are proposing the addition. It's approximately 1.1 acres in area, and there's a single-family residence on it. 79 First Road is a half an acre. There's a single-family residence on that. And 0 Connecticut Road is an undeveloped lot at the end of what I believe is a paper street that is undeveloped and approximately 0.6 acres. Just to give you a sense, this is in South Tewksbury off of First Street, and it abuts the Wilmington line directly to the project south. As far as zoning goes, we're in the R40 zoning district. There's no floodplain, there's no groundwater protection district, there's no habitat or vernal pools or anything like that. There are 3 wetland areas around the site, so the A series is in the north, or essentially the top part of that sketch. The B series is to the west, or the left-hand side of that sketch, and the C series is to the south, which is the bottom part of that sketch. So as far as the proposed conditions go, 77 New York Road, again, the lot that's essentially in the middle there, we have a 420 square foot proposed building addition. We'll be replacing the existing lawn that's out there. And then we've also shown essentially clusters of trees on the site plan, and there's 3 clusters of trees on that lot that will come down as part of the new lawn. 79 First Street, all we're proposing is a new lawn, and there's 10 trees on that lot that will be coming down. And then 0 Connecticut Road, it's a new lawn. There's 3 clusters of trees, and if you looked at the plans, there's an old tree house that's been there for a while. Since they're going through this stuff, they're going to just take that down.
It's not a new lawn, it's an existing lawn there right now. There's an existing landscape there right now.
Oh, yeah, right. So it's all.
Nothing's new there right now, it already
Right.
exists.
And so the work associated with taking the treehouse down is, it's not as if we're going into a wooded area that's undisturbed and whatnot, right? So all in all, we looked at the impacts within the 25, the 50, and the 100. We actually have a net decrease in impervious area of 15 square feet inside the 25, 84 square feet inside the 50, and a 2 square foot increase outside of the 50. So net, that's somewhere around a 97 square foot change, which for all intents and purposes is small, right? But there's a little bit of an improvement. All activities are proposed beyond the 25 foot, with the exception of that one treehouse that will be taken down most likely by hand. So where do we stand right now? We submitted in beginning of February. We did a site walk with Abigail on the 12th of February. I looked at DEP's comments today. They had something on there about a check, but I can tell you that the check came from my office. We sent it. They did issue the file number. So I think we're in good shape. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer those for you.
All right. Because I've been harping on this issue for a while, the tree situation, how many trees are you planning on?
So we're asked, because you've been harping on this for a while, we took the initiative, right? And we went out to the site, we located, I believe there's 12 or 15 different clusters there, right? But the clusters, they might have 3 or 4 root clumps coming up. So the idea is, I think altogether, there's probably like 25 of these smaller trees that will be taken down as part of the entire project.
At the most.
All right.
And so the other thing that we're doing is, I'm not going to show you a tree line anymore because that gets us in trouble. But what we've done here is we're showing the erosion control where that is. So obviously there's not going to be any impacts outside of that. We essentially set that 26 feet-ish from the wetland line.
Nothing's going beyond the existing landscaping limits that are there right now.
All right.
Been there for 30 years.
All right, yeah, I guess my only comment about the trees is if you do find other trees that, should be taken down because they're dead or dying, please contact Abigail before doing so, or at the earliest possible convenience. Anybody else on the commission have any
Are you
questions or
doing
comments?
stump grinding for all the trees? Are you leaving the stumps in place?
No, there'll be ground out of there.
Every single one of them?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then for the tree house, are you okay with it putting in a condition that it is handwork to remove that? So you don't have
Yeah,
heavy
but the thing about the
machinery.
treehouse, just so you know, it's been there for 30 years.
Fine.
What's that?
I said, that's fine. I'm just asking the question if the handwork's
The
okay.
treehouse has been there for 30 years, and it's dilapidated, it's half fallen down there. As you guys probably all know from having treehouses as kids there, the trees grew around a lot of the lumber that's there. The concern is there, you're gonna have a notch in a tree when the lumber rots away in time. So if the tree's compromised there, I want to be able to handle that tree now rather than have it fall down later on. So we're gonna do as minimal as we have to in there, but I want to make sure it's a safe environment when we're all said and done there too.
All right.
So you okay with the condition of handwork only to remove the treehouse?
Yes, but, yeah, of course, yeah.
And the trees remaining in place too, right? It's just the
Well,
treehouse.
like I just said, if the trees are compromised because it's a notch growing around the tree,
So you're removing the tree as well?
well.
Potentially.
Potentially.
So,
Okay,
but
because that one's not marked as.
that, you're right, it's not marked.
That's why I'm
That's on
asking.
us, but if we have to, we could certainly call Abigail. The only reason it's going to come down is because it's compromised from the treehouse.
Right.
So essentially, you're removing the treehouse, and if compromise
Bingo. Yeah.
Right.
tree
It's gonna
warden
die
determines it's
anyways.
dying,
That's
that,
the idea.
We
And
can
it's an
remove it
area
at
that's
that
already disturbed. It's not, once again, it's landscaped up to the round of the treehouse there, so it's not, we're going into an area that's been undisturbed. And back then, there was no setbacks for the no disturb, so it's in a place that's been like that for 30 years.
yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. I'm concerned about the work.
And whatever we do, we're gonna have
It's
technology
happening
there
now,
doing it.
not what happened 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
So we're good, so, just to be clear, treehouse is getting removed by hand, and if you want to remove that tree, you'll contact Abigail, and it's only going to be removed if it's compromised/dead.
Yep, yep.
So the trees will be evaluated for health post.
Right.
Is there anybody living in the treehouse?
Probably a lot of critters. Some probably neighborhood kids there too over time, but yeah.
All right. Any other discussion from the commission?
I'm good.
This is a public hearing. If there's anybody in the public who would like to get up and make a comment, now's the time to do so. Not seeing anybody rise, could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And before I take a motion on the actual NOI, I'm just going to read out the other special conditions for this. So conditions may include the applicant shall install and maintain perimeter controls around the area of work to prevent the deposition of debris into nearby resource areas. Perimeter controls shall remain in place until all areas of erodible materials have been stabilized at the site. These controls shall act as a limit of work. No equipment can be stored or work be done past this point. Prior to any construction activity commencing, the following must be completed. ESCs shall be installed by the applicant or an agent of the applicant, and the conservation agent shall inspect and approve of the installed ESCs. Trees to be removed beyond what is already specified in the plans referenced in Section A of this order may be considered for removal in accordance with the following conditions. Approval must be received from the conservation agent, and the trees proposed for removal must be in the direct path of the proposed work, or the trees are believed to potentially fall and cause harm to person or property. And then finally, all exposed soil must be stabilized prior to the removal of ESCs. Are we okay with that? All right. In that case, could I have a motion to approve the notice of intent as discussed at this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And finally, agenda item C, emergency certification for 76 to 80 Emerald Court, Assessors Map 48, Lot 79, U76 to U80. Abigail, could you fill us in on the details?
Yeah, so this was a water leak. It's in the floodplain. They needed to fix the water connection. I had a letter from DPW stating that it was an emergency and that the work needed to be done. So it was just to fix the water leak.
All right. Any questions or comments from the commission? Not hearing any, could I have a motion to ratify the emergency certification?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And before we adjourn, we have an administrator's report for MBTA Keola's 2025 work. Could you, again, fill us in on the details?
Yeah, so I got a letter from Keolis about a week and a half ago stating that they were planning on starting their vegetation management work along a right-of-way. I went back and found an RDA from 2020 that was a positive and a negative determination, positive being that it was in jurisdictional area, and negative that it didn't require further permitting for them to do the work. And the plans approved were the vegetation management plan from 2021 to 2025, which is what this work is considered under. So just letting the commission know that they're doing the work and that they'll be doing it in this upcoming spring season.
And it's the same stuff they've always been doing, just cutting back and.
Yeah, the
I think
plans
they
have not
spray a few
changed.
Things and stuff, but that's it.
Yeah, the plans haven't changed since what was approved.
All right. All right, sounds good. If there's no further discussion, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next meeting is March 19th, 2025.